Missiles, the most fun. Loading times, way. Yeah, this is where I derp. I wanted to launch it from the missile pad to say, hey look, a missile from a missile pad. The only problem is, it seems that if you launch from the missile pad you can't destroy the rocket building. The rocket building. Yeah. So here I am, having a good time. Flying a rocket. Or a missile, I guess, it's guided. As you'll see later on, some of my videos, some of my aircraft don't fly properly. They used to, but the game's been through a few patches now and things changed, so they fly a bit dodgy. Some of them still work properly, but not all of them. I nearly missed the building on this strike. These missiles are expensive. Boop. Why are the buildings still standing? Shit. Try again. This is the part where I was saying, yeah, I'll probably edit this out. No. It's too much effort. My computer doesn't like editing. It's hard enough for me to record a voice, and it might sound crap by the time I finish this editing. I have to do it all again. Yeah, I thought, alright, sorry, I'm just going to use full missile strength every time. Full thrust. Can't be bothered to use half thrust, it doesn't seem to make a difference. This one's a much better strike, but the building still didn't fall, as you're going to see very shortly. Which annoys me, because I love explosions, and Kerbal dying is about 50% of what this game's about. The other 50% is space. And flying planes, of course. I'm not going to take away from flying planes, because I have more fun flying planes than I do flying into space in rockets. Yeah, at this point I'm like, alright, I'll launch it from the space plane hangar and then blow up the rocket building. Have a quick drink. For some reason the video seems to stop moving. For some reason when I record, everything takes a while longer to load. The game runs about the same, but loading up missiles and loading the launch pad and everything takes a bit longer. I thought everything would run a bit slower, but apparently not. Yeah, gotta put the United Kingdom flag on it. Always, even if the game doesn't save it. Yay, epic launch from the runway, because surely that's why. Yeah. And at least this time we get what we're after. Yes, explosions, fire, dead Kerbals. Pretty much everything I want from a video game. You can build a rocket and you can slam it into some random building and just destroy it and have an awesome fire effect on it. It's not the only reason I play this game, but it's one of the only reasons I play this game anymore. I used to play it and try and get to the moon and other planets, but I just got bored of it, really. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I just prefer explosions to landing on the moon. I'm that guy. Ah, the English electric lightning. My father's favourite aircraft. It's hard to make in this game. You'd have to do a double front intake, and the game just doesn't really have one that works. But it looks nice, and it flies reasonably well even after all the patches that have changed it since I built this thing. I'm sure you'll see in a second. Ooh, loading times. Yeah, no crash damage, because for some reason occasionally when I take off aircraft the landing gear just instantaneously fall off, which isn't fun, believe me, especially when the engines hang down so far on this thing. On other planes you can just take off on the belly and hope for the best, but not this aircraft. I like this game as well because you can be really creative with what you design. You'll see later I've got bombers, I've got bombers with escape, like the cockpit can come off like the old Captain Scarlet animation kind of cartoon show that used to be on, where if the jet got hit you could bail out and fly the cockpit somewhere. You'll see it later anyway if you continue watching the video. Yeah, I would have done a using the webcam, but at the moment I have a problem with my eye at the moment. A few days ago it got bit by a mosquito, so it's a bit swollen, and it's not something you'd want to be staring at while you're watching a video about flying things into things or around things. So yeah, maybe another video. Yeah, it rolls a lot quicker than it used to, which is why I'm having some dirt here trying to get it to stay flat. Such quick rolling. I like this cockpit. This cockpit looks absolutely fantastic. It looks like a jet fighter cockpit, especially with the little glass aiming thing, heads up display type thing. Not sure where the joystick is. Yeah, see, whoa, such roll, confusion. Getting a little bit near the ground now, so I decide to stop that. I was actually really impressed when I made this. I was like, oh wow, this actually, it looks a tiny bit like the real aircraft. Obviously I haven't got the exact same bits to make the aircraft look fantastic, or I can't paint it or anything unless I install mods. But I was quite impressed how close I got with the parts that were in the game when I made this, especially when it flew quite well. I've definitely made things that are harder to fly, as you'll probably see later. We come into landing cockpit view. I don't do this very often because, well, the problem with a cockpit, it faces upwards, you can't see the ground. For all I know, the engines could be grinding along the floor already. Put the landing gear down, hope for the best. Plane wobbles so much now for some reason, it rolls a lot. But I'd say that was a reasonably successful landing. Yeah, the camera decided to stay in the cockpit when I told it to come out of the cockpit there, so zoom out a bit. Hopefully this video comes out as well as it's looking and sounding right now. I'm not sure how good the microphone is for picking up sound, but I hope it goes well. I'll probably be able to watch it to check. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the gyro there, it's kind of just spazzing out. For some reason it doesn't understand that still means it doesn't move. At this point I think, you know what, I like this aircraft too much to just fly it around and land it. I'm going to go and taxi over to the building. So, tiny bit of throttle there. By using the force apparently, because Kerbals don't need to use their hands. Then I instantaneously get bored of having to go into the cockpit to change the throttle, so I just use the full power and the off power button, as you'll probably see by the huge cloud that comes out the back of this plane very shortly. He says, and then nothing happens. Come on. There we go. You can just see the little throttle in the middle, just going up and down as I try and turn the plane around. It doesn't turn very well on the floor for obvious reasons, but it flies nicely, that's all that really matters. I could have put steering wheels on them, but for some reason they don't retract. So you can build a Cessna, because the wheels never have to retract, but when you're building a fighter jet, you kind of want retractable wheels. I hope they have loads of new parts, because you can get mods that install propeller aircraft and different types of wheels and different types of wings and pre-built aircraft, but I want the game to have it. I don't really like installing mods because every time you update the game it will just destroy all of the mods you have, and it's too annoying. But yeah, hopefully one day that in this game they'll put all the interesting parts in, so you can have, I don't know, a Boeing 737 that deploys a space shuttle that goes up into space, or you could have a B-17 or Spitfire, just make one, which would be great. I'd have a lot of fun trying to build a Spitfire in this game. Don't mind me, just cruising. Hopefully one of those suicidal Kerbal drivers in the space plane hangar don't crash into me. That would be expensive and painful. Just a quick look at it because I think it looks very nice. I hope you agree. I decide, no, I'm not going to revert flight. I'm actually going to do the old-fashioned way, go to the space center and then reclaim it. Yeah, I'm sorry about the long loading times. It annoys me as well. Which aircraft did I do next? I mean, I recorded the video without the narration not that long ago, well, however long the video is. About 12-15 minutes ago, I'm guessing? Yeah, oh, that's it, I just show you this one, I don't bother flying it because I was looking down at the time and thinking, I'm not going to go too long on this first video. I'm just going to, first, talking recorded video. I think it ends up being about 24 minutes long. Feel free to tell me in the comments, YouTube will tell you. I like that light bomber. This doesn't fly as well as it used to, which is a shame because it used to be pretty fun to fly. Now it's kind of just, it flies but not very well. You'll see. Oh, and the takeoff on this is fantastic. It had a derp moment when I was pulling up, but the aircraft just didn't try to pull up, so it just kind of, well, you'll see. None of that half throttle business, just full throttle to try and get this heavy beast off the floor. Because I built this one and I thought, oh, it's a shame it can only carry, I think, 2 bombs. So I was like, I know, I'll build a bigger one, and you'll see that after I bomb the rocket building. Yeah, here's the takeoff. Why are you not pulling up? Doing physics. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Here we go. Open the bomb bay doors. As you can see, two, I think, xenon tanks in there. I think they were. Or maybe they're the small liquid fuel ones. I don't know, they fit inside the cargo bay, that's all that matters for me. Yeah, here you can see the awesome manoeuvrability. This thing used to turn so much faster. I'm just glad it still flies, to be fair. Oh, they need to add more things as well. There needs to be more bases, there needs to be cities around. That would be fun, if you could just fly over a city and just, you know... In the real game, try not to hit them, but in my game, you know, bomb the crap out of them. If you want to watch this game played properly, Scott Manley. But if you want to watch derping, I don't know, anyone like Jacksepticeye derps around in this game, or he used to. If this video is received well, I might derp around in this game a lot more as well. It rolls well though, this aircraft. It may not turn for any love nor money, but it does roll very well. Here's me desperately trying to get this aircraft to do anything like turning, which is quite difficult. Because if you just go full sideways, it just falls out of the sky, because for whatever reason the engines are just not powerful enough to keep it in the air unless you're going in a straight line. Which is strange, because the heavier medium bomber that I made has exactly the same engines, and it works. Well, it flies a lot easier than this thing does. I might put the bigger engines on it and see how it works, but they seem to just rip the aircraft in half. Yeah, at this point I'm like, no, I'm not going to go to Space Center, just revert flight. Yeah, this recording, because usually I couldn't record this game, because my recording software just didn't want to record it. It just recorded my desktop in the background, which did absolutely nothing for, I don't know, 10-20 minutes. But luckily, the new Windows 10 update that came out gives you, if you hit the Windows button in G, I believe, it pops up with a little bar, toolbar type thing, and there's a recording button on it. I decided I'd test it out on this, and then good old Movie Maker to put the voice in. Hopefully my computer's all receiving this, otherwise there'll be 24 minutes of just, well, me not talking, and we'll just see some flying. Loading times, FTW. Zoom. Hello dude, how you doing? Yeah, but this aircraft, see? Same two jet engines, just basic jets. But for some reason, while it doesn't gain speed very quickly on the runway, it flies a lot better. I know I've got more fins and mini wings, but seriously, I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult. And obviously this is YouTube, so if any people watch this, they're like, oh, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. I don't care. I'm not playing this game to get to Mars, I'm playing this game to fly around and derp. Derping does not need intelligence. If I really wanted to build a proper thing and learn how to play this game with all the key bindings and everything, I could go on the internet and find out, and then I might be Baron von Richthofen and be a pilot ace, but nope. At the moment I just want to fly and bomb things with these magical bombs that can go through solid objects. Yeah, it looks like the plane is, I don't even know what it looks like. It looks like it's got mini egg cells or something hanging out from the bottom, I don't know. At least they don't explode while they're in the plane. That would suck. Another thing is that you can't release the bombs very quickly, so 1 or 2, maybe 3 I think hit the building, but because they release so slowly. See, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th one misses, and apparently I think the 4th one does as well, because there was more than one that missed. I don't know, maybe the 4th one bounced off or something, I don't know. Explosions. Yeah, there you go, there's more than one that missed for some reason. Close the bomb bay doors, spin around, and I'm thinking, I remember there was something special, and see, it turns a lot better as well. But yeah, I was remembering something about this aircraft. I was thinking, well, as you can see on the left, all the things that I have left to do. I knew that the aircraft split, I remembered from when I built it, which was actually quite a long time ago, but I was thinking, should I show it? And then I thought, well, just flying over and bombing a building isn't actually that fun, so yeah, I'll show it, why not? And thank God for the Alt F12 that lets you pull up all the infinite fuel, infinite building, infinite aircraft strength, so you have to hit it really hard to blow up. It says unbreakable joints, and then if you hit something really hard the joints break, but I'm not complaining, game's fun. Yeah, I was going to land and I thought, no, full throttle, just take off again. Yeah, another thing, because it only has these engines, you actually have to wait until you run out of runway before you pull up, otherwise it just won't take off. That and the fact the landing gear is probably a bit far back behind the centre of mass, or centre of lift. Yeah, around this point I'm thinking, yeah, alright, turn off the engines on that one, and turn on the mini engine. Just like in the old well, I say old, the new Captain Scarlet, but they stopped doing it. Yeah, so the back of your plane comes off and, I don't know, maybe a heat-seeking missile slams into it and blows it up and you fly away in your mini escape pod. Which flies surprisingly well considering it's, I think it was called the Poodle, or maybe the Terrier, I don't know, or the Spark, I don't know, a really small engine attached to a cockpit with some wings is basically what this is, and it works fantastically. I mean, eventually you will hit the ground. It hasn't got enough force to hold you up in the air. But, I mean, as an escape pod, it's not meant to be able to fly long distance. All it's meant to do is keep you alive. Obviously no landing gear on this thing either, which is why, as you can see on the left, I've got 6 parachutes attached to it. And you can see in the distance my main fuselage with all the parachutes is about to hit the ocean. You'll hear it, there'll be a distinct splush. And this is me thinking, oh, can I get back to base without hitting the ground? Because remember, I have no landing gear, it's just parachutes and they take a while to slow you down. I'm like, the ground, no, too close, pull up, no. But luckily, it manages, and I think, alright, this is close enough, deploy the parachutes. Boom. And soft landing. And those 2 crew members survived. Ta-da! And I was thinking about going to the Space Center, but I'd have to retrieve both bits and I couldn't be bothered, so I just went revert flight. Yeah, and that's this video. If you like it, obviously like it. If you don't like it, you can comment away. I'll try and read most of them, and if you subscribe it will really help. And thanks guys, this has been JoeFound97. Bye.